Welcome to Glorified Gutsy Gaming. I'm Jake,
And I'm Katie.
and today we are reviewing Intergalactic Ace. It's for 2 to 6 players, 20 to 30 minutes, ages 10 and up. And this is a prototype copy, so some things have changed, which actually added some time to our recording of this video, as we were going to record it last week, and some changes were made. But the base game has some really cool pieces, I think, that are going to draw everybody in. So you've got the player board and the ship kill markers, which you can see there as well, and it's the tokens that keep everything and all your stats. They're really nice woodcut pieces. Artist Steel did a good job. They do all that kind of work, and this is their first game.
They also do smell like they were freshly cut when you open the box too, so be aware of that. But it could also be the prototype.
Yeah, you can definitely smell the burnt wood kind of smell, and there's a bit of soot, which I've seen on some other components in the past. So it's pretty cool. You're getting the fresh stuff, but it could use a fan out, that's for sure. But the game goes from 2 to 6. We played it a lot at 2, just the two of us, and I think that this probably shines more around 4 players.
3 was even better than 2.
Yeah, 3 definitely was better than 2. And there is some expansion pieces to go up to 9. You could definitely go up that high. The turns are very fast. I just think that it would kind of get overwhelming with that many players. But you certainly could. And this game is designed for families, or for an easygoing kind of audience. And I think that probably is on target here.
Yeah.
There's some silly art on the enemy ship cards, and the ideas aren't super complex. You're rolling dice and upgrading your stats to hit certain numbers to fight enemy ships and get those 5 kills to win. And there's a lot of, in the base game, without any variants or any of the updated stuff that they just released, it's a lot of chance on what cards you draw, what you roll. And there was a couple of variants that mitigated some of that stuff that I think were really good, that I want to talk about now. There's the Go to Warp variant, that you can pay 3 extra fuel at any time to increase your dice roll by 1, which I think is a great mitigation technique. And I even stacked it and maxed out my gas, or fuel I guess it's called, to be able to add 1 or 2 just if I was close, which helped me a lot. But with their recent update, they've changed that you can spend 3 fuel to re-roll 1 dice, which I think is better. It's faster. You don't have to stock up so much on gas like I was doing, which you don't have to do, but it seemed smart. It worked for me more than once. So re-rolling, I think that's an even better mitigation idea. And then there's the fully loaded variant, where you start with 3 upgrade cards, because you're going to spend several turns upgrading before you can fight anything. And in the new update, they've changed it to where they don't have that variant, but all the starting cards have higher stats, which I think is definitely the right way to go. Get you into the fighting faster. It cuts out a lot of game time. As for the other variants in the back, the Shields Up variant I think is much better when you're fighting another player instead of just a card. You go off their shield value rather than the default of 7. I think that's more fun. It makes you have a reason to keep your shields up, because there's not much reason to have your shields higher than like 6, because if you lose 5, and you don't want to hit 0 because you'll lose a kill. But if you just keep it at 6 or get up to 6, you never really need to go higher than that. But in this variant, you need higher shields in order to protect yourself from other players. I think that's a good variant.
I also think that variant should probably just be
The standard.
the standard, because when you draw a card for fighting somebody, it's always 7. So I feel like there's not a lot of...
And the other player doesn't have much say-so in whether you steal their kill or not.
Exactly.
And he has made a new update on that particular variant, where instead of the default value being 7 in our prototype, it's kind of have a roll-off. You each roll the dice, and whoever rolls higher is the winner, which at least gives the defender a chance to to have something involved, you know.
Like fight back, essentially. Because if you were in a war, a spaceship war,
Yeah, you
would fight back if, you know, someone attacked you. So it makes more sense for you both to roll a die.
Yeah, it just gets the other player involved, which I think is better.
Yeah.
It's still all luck, which is kind of why I like the shields variant better, because you can kind of prevent or defend better if you have higher shields, or if you lose a battle and you have low shields, you should probably expect to, you know, be in a player battle, especially if you're leading. Some other things in here, some of the other variants I didn't think were really worth exploring, and some of the new stuff that they're adding to the version is they've got another fight a player of your choice, which I think is good, because fighting other players, especially when they're winning, is a good option. You probably don't want to do it in the beginning, but towards the end game you're going to want to.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that he added in a recent update is another action you can do, which is to steal 2 of another player's resource, which at first I wasn't so crazy about. But when I thought about the end game, when somebody's getting close to that final kill, and maybe you don't draw and attack them, like an attack a player card, or you don't have one reserved yet, or somebody else maybe has it, but they haven't got to use it yet, and you want to slow that player down, you can steal 2 of their stats. I think that could be a good action to add, so I'm happy with that addition. I haven't got to play it because it's not in this prototype, but I think that's a very good idea to be able to steal 2 from somebody. It's not a lot, but it could. If you steal their fuel, then they can't attack and get that last ship that they need to win.
I see that fuel would probably be the main thing that someone steals,
right,
though, because it really wouldn't inhibit somebody if they stole like 2 on weapons. It's so easy to just get that back up.
You could, if they match the weapons on the card exactly, and they're only one category away. It just depends on the circumstances. I just feel like fuel's going to be the one that people goes after with just a hit of 2. Yeah, I think that's what he mentions in the update, that the fuel is the most important. And he's also adding a couple of the upgrade cards. He added that you're going to steal 3 or 4 from other players. I feel like that is kind of the same idea where you can prevent the leader from doing things, but I don't like that idea quite as much. It feels more like a take that aspect, and especially if you draw it in the beginning, you're going to set somebody back pretty hard by taking 4 stats from them.
Yeah.
That's at least 1 turn that you're going to set them back, depending on what you take. So not crazy about that. But overall, I think it's a good game. I think kids and families can definitely play this, and you can play this if you're a more seasoned gamer as a light filler or starting game or finishing game.
It's a good starting game for sure, because it's not a lot. Even if you're playing with new people, it's really easy to teach. And we taught our friend who doesn't play a lot of games, and he caught on really fast and didn't really ask any questions. So it's a really good start to a long game day if you plan to have that.
Yeah. And I like there's a couple different actions, and I think that they're all meaningful actions, whether that's scanning or just outright attacking if you're trying to catch up and you got to take that risk, or just upgrading, or in the new update of stealing somebody else's stuff. I think the actions are good and simple, and the turns are very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll already have done multiple turns in seconds. It goes very quick. So overall, I think that this is a good game. I think this is probably about a 7 for me overall, with all the variants included and the new things that he updated that's going to be in the final copy. I think that this is going to be a good entry into somebody's library.
A good entry. That's the thing of it, though.
It's not going to be a staple. It's not going to be the main thing that drives you to go do that game day.
Yeah, well, my issue with it is it becomes very repetitive. My turns became, each time I played, it came to me scanning, getting a card, me getting the fuel, getting the thing that needs, and then fighting it. And it was just like a repetitive thing, and there wasn't a lot of resistance to it. And I also, because of the repetitiveness and the fact that there's not a lot of enemy cards to begin with, which I get it's a prototype, so it might just be that, but I literally fought the same ship over and over and over, and won that way. And it was kind of boring in the sense that I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over. And I can see how in time we would get really bored, because we tend to get bored with games that don't have a lot more than just a repetitive motion to it.
Yeah, you're not going to want to play this every time you sit. If you play weekly, you're not going to want to play this every week.
You might
but
not
if you
even
have a lot of filler games and you cycle your filler games out like a lot of people do, then I think that this will definitely hit that niche.
Yes, but you might not even want to play it twice in a row, is the thing.
No, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to. You're not going to want to play it back to back.
No.
And for fillers, that's okay.
For fillers, it's a good filler game, and like I said, like we said, it's a good start. You play one game of it to get everybody in the mood of playing games, and then you move on to something that's maybe a little bit more or less chance. Like, everything is chance. You pick up a card, it's chance. The roll's chance. The entire game is a luck of the draw kind of thing, which is great. I mean, there's a lot of good games that are luck of the draw, but it's just, you know, if you like a more thought processed game, it's probably not going to be
what you're looking for.
Yeah, what you're looking for, yeah. My rating would probably be a 5 or a 6, I would say. Maybe a 6.
All right. Well, I think that this is a good first entry, and it was a good first prototype by them, and I look forward to seeing what they have in store with the full copy and you know, in their future games. And I'd love to see if they would make some board game upgrades with that laser cut wood. I think that would be really cool for some games, especially the player boards. But that is everything here. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.